undertaking has been received, and that consequently this country is at war with Germany.
Wir sind intolerant!
We shall never surrender.
Tactics on the battlefield did not change much for many centuries. Armies met face to face, armed with simple but deadly weapons. As societies progressed, so did military technology. The introduction of soldiers on horseback had a dramatic effect on the battlefield. Missile weapons like the bow and arrow also changed the way battles were fought. By the Middle Ages, full suits of armor helped protect against falling arrows and slashing swords. Societies also developed very effective means of defense. Settlements were built behind fortified walls and, over time, wooden structures were replaced with thick walls of stone. These castles provided very effective defense, so new strategies of attack were needed. The ballista, a large and powerful crossbow, could pierce armor. It could also clear the walls and crash into the buildings inside. The trebuchet and catapult could fire heavy rocks into the walls and slowly weaken them. With the development of gunpowder, the cannon was introduced. This weapon could fire very heavy stones with devastating results. By the 16th century, gunpowder made its way into the hands of soldiers. Rifles started to replace swords and spears. Artillery could lob shells into ranks of infantry from great distances. The layout of the battlefield had changed. War was fought at a distance. In the early 1900s, the machine gun was unleashed on the battlefield. This weapon, along with heavy artillery, killed and wounded millions of soldiers. The only defense seemed to be trench warfare. On September 1st, 1939, Germany invaded Poland. As a result of this invasion, Britain and France declared war on Germany. The German invasion employed a new type of combined tactic called blitzkrieg. Using tanks, troops, and airplanes, the Germans crossed Poland's border all at once, crushing their defenses. Despite an heroic effort by the Polish armed forces, the Germans were able to capture Poland within 28 days. Diplomatic measures were assessed by the British, French, and other nations in an attempt to prevent the war from spreading. While the talks went on, Britain and France prepared for the worst. In the north of France, positions were reinforced with land and air forces from Britain, known as the Allied Expeditionary Force and Advanced Air Striking Force. With these forces in place, they sat and waited. This period was known as the Sitzkrieg, or Phony War. The Allies and the Germans measured each other as they faced off at the French-German border.